You are not separate from God. You are not apart from the divine intelligence that creates worlds. Right now, in this very moment, the presence that spoke creation into existence is living and breathing through you. This is not philosophy. This is not religious doctrine. This is truth. And when you truly understand this, when you really get this at the level of your being, everything changes. Most of us have been taught to look outside ourselves for God. We've been conditioned to believe that the divine is somewhere out there, somewhere beyond us, somewhere we have to reach through prayers and rituals and perfect behavior. We've been told that we're separate, that we're flawed, that we need intermediaries to connect with the source of all life. But what if everything you've been taught is backwards? What if the very thing you've been searching for in temples and churches and holy places has been inside you all along? When you came into this physical world, you didn't come here empty. You brought with you the fullness of the divine. You are an individualized expression of the same force that creates galaxies and orchestrates the seasons and causes a seed to become a mighty tree. That force didn't abandon you at birth. It didn't leave you to struggle alone in this world. It is you. It is the very essence of who you are, beneath all the labels and roles and identities you've accumulated. Think about it for a moment. What is it that beats your heart? What is it that grows your hair and heals your cuts and digests your food while you sleep? You're not doing these things with your conscious mind. There's an intelligence within you, an infinite intelligence that knows exactly how to operate this miraculous body of yours. That intelligence is not separate from you. It is the divine presence expressing itself as you. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, not a human being hoping to have a spiritual experience. This is crucial to understand. Your true nature is spirit. Your true nature is eternal, infinite, and connected to everything. The human part, the physical part, the personality part, these are temporary costumes you're wearing. But underneath it all, at the core of your being, you are pure divine consciousness. Now you might be thinking, if God is within me, why do I feel so disconnected? Why do I struggle? Why do I feel pain and fear and doubt? And this is the beautiful part. You feel disconnected because you've been hypnotized by the world around you. You've been taught to identify with your ego, with your thoughts, with your past, with your circumstances. You've been taught to believe that you are your resume, your bank account, your relationships, your achievements. But none of these things are who you truly are. The ego is like a false self that develops as you grow up. It's the voice in your head that constantly judges and compares and worries. It's the part of you that believes you're separate from everyone and everything else. The ego looks at the world and sees separation. It sees you here and God there. It sees problems that need solving and gaps that need filling. But the ego is just a construct. It's not real. It's like a cloud that temporarily obscures the sun. The sun is always shining behind the clouds, and the divine presence is always radiating within you, even when you can't feel it. When you begin to quiet the ego, when you begin to move beyond the constant chatter of your thinking mind, that's when you start to experience the presence within. This is what meditation is really about. It's not about achieving some mystical state or seeing visions. It's about returning to your natural state, the state of pure awareness, the state where you recognize yourself as the divine expressing in human form. You see, God is not a person sitting on a throne in the sky. God is not a being separate from creation. God is the intelligence that flows through all things. God is the energy, the consciousness, the creative force that underlies everything that exists. And you are not separate from this. You are an integral part of it. You are a unique and necessary expression of it. Think of the ocean and the wave. The wave rises from the ocean, dances for a moment on the surface, and then returns to the ocean. The wave is not separate from the ocean. It is made of the same water. It is the ocean expressing itself in a particular form. In the same way, you are not separate from the divine. You are the divine expressing itself in a particular form called you. The wave might forget it's part of the ocean, but that doesn't change the reality. It's still ocean water through and through. When you know this, when you really live from this knowing, you stop looking outside yourself for fulfillment. You stop believing that your happiness depends on what happens to you or what you achieve or what other people think of you. You realize that the source of everything you've been seeking is already within you. Peace is within you. Love is within you. Joy is within you. Abundance is within you. Everything you need is already there, waiting for you to recognize it. This is what all the great spiritual teachers have been trying to tell us. Whether they call it God or Buddha nature or Christ consciousness or the Tao or pure awareness, they're all pointing to the same truth. There is a divine presence within you, and when you align with it, your life transforms. You move from struggle to flow. You move from fear to love. You move from limitation to infinite possibility. But here's what most people don't understand. Knowing this intellectually is not enough. You can read all the books and attend all the workshops and repeat all the affirmations, but if you don't actually practice living from this awareness, nothing changes. You have to make the shift from thinking about the divine presence to experiencing it. You have to move from believing to knowing, and this requires a willingness to let go of who you think you are. Your past does not define you. The mistakes you've made do not define you. The opinions others have of you do not define you. These are all just stories, narratives that your ego has constructed to make sense of your experience, but they're not truth. The truth is that you are an eternal being, forever connected to the source of all creation. You cannot be diminished. You cannot be broken. You cannot be unworthy. These are impossibilities when you understand your true nature. So many of us carry around beliefs about ourselves that are simply not true. We believe we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not worthy of love, we're not deserving of success. We believe these things because somewhere along the way, someone told us or showed us that this is who we are. But these beliefs are lies. They're veils that cover up the magnificent truth of your being. And you have the power to remove these veils right now. The divine presence within you doesn't judge you. It doesn't condemn you for your mistakes. It doesn't compare you to others. It simply loves you unconditionally and eternally. It sees you as you truly are, as a perfect expression of itself. When you can see yourself through the eyes of the divine, when you can love yourself the way the divine loves you, your entire experience of life shifts. Forgiveness becomes natural when you understand this. How can you hold on to grudges when you realize that the same divine presence is within everyone? How can you see others as enemies when you recognize that we're all connected at the source? The person who hurt you, the person who betrayed you, the person who seems so different from you, they too carry the divine presence within them. They may not know it. They may be completely identified with their ego. But that doesn't change the truth of who they are. When you forgive, you're not saying that what happened was okay. You're not condoning bad behavior. You're simply choosing to release the burden of resentment and anger that you've been carrying. You're choosing to return to love, which is your natural state. And when you forgive others, you also free yourself. You stop allowing the past to poison your present. You stop giving your power away to people and events that are long gone. The same is true for self-forgiveness. You must stop beating yourself up for the past. You must stop replaying your mistakes over and over in your mind. The divine presence within you has already forgiven you. It never condemned you in the first place. It only sees your innocence and your worthiness. The question is, when will you see it too? Living from the divine presence within means living from a place of total trust. It means knowing that you are always being guided, always being supported, always being loved. Even when things don't go the way you planned, even when you face challenges and setbacks, you can trust that there's a greater intelligence at work. You can trust that everything is happening for your growth and evolution. This doesn't mean you become passive. It doesn't mean you stop taking action or setting goals. It means you take inspired action from a place of alignment rather than desperate action from a place of fear. When you're connected to the divine presence within, you receive guidance. You get intuitive hits. You feel drawn in certain directions. And when you follow this inner knowing, doors open in miraculous ways. The universe is always conspiring on your behalf, but you have to be open to receive its gifts. You have to be willing to release your rigid plans and expectations. You have to be willing to say yes to opportunities that your ego might resist because they don't fit the picture you had in your mind. The divine presence knows the path. Your job is to trust and follow. So many people pray for things to be different. They pray for more money, better relationships, improved health, and then they wonder why their prayers aren't answered. But prayer is not about asking some external God to change your circumstances. Real prayer is about aligning yourself with the divine presence within and allowing it to express through you. It's about shifting your consciousness from lack to abundance, from fear to love, from limitation to possibility. When you pray, instead of asking for things, try this. Get quiet, go within, and simply rest in the presence. Feel the divine energy that animates your being. Connect with the source of all creation. And from that place of connection, allow yourself to feel what you want to feel. If you want abundance, feel abundant now. If you want love, feel loved now. If you want peace, feel peaceful now. The divine presence within you responds to your state of being, not to your words. This is how you become a magnet for miracles. When you vibrate at the frequency of what you desire, when you embody the feeling of already having it, you align yourself with that reality. You become a match for it. And then, in ways you couldn't have planned or predicted, it shows up in your life. This isn't magic, this is spiritual law. You attract what you are, not what you want. But you have to get out of your own way. You have to stop interfering with the flow of divine intelligence through you. Every time you worry, you're blocking the flow. Every time you doubt, you're blocking the flow. Every time you focus on what's wrong instead of what's right, you're blocking the flow. The divine presence is always trying to express love, abundance, joy, and creativity through you, but your negative thinking creates resistance. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful. They're not just random mental chatter, they're creative forces. Every thought you think is sending out a signal into the universe, attracting experiences and circumstances that match that thought. When you think thoughts of limitation, you create more limitation. When you think thoughts of possibility, you create more possibility. This is why it's so important to become aware of what you're thinking and to consciously choose thoughts that are aligned with your divine nature. The divine presence within you knows only abundance. It knows only love. It knows only wholeness. Lack and limitation exist only in the ego mind. When you align your thoughts with the divine presence, you begin to see the world differently. You begin to notice opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You begin to feel grateful for what you have instead of anxious about what you don't have. And this shift in perception changes everything. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to connect with the divine presence within. When you appreciate the good in your life, you're acknowledging the source from which all good flows. You're recognizing that you are blessed, that you are supported, that you are provided for. And the more you practice gratitude, the more you have to be grateful for. This is the law of attraction in action. Start your day by giving thanks. Before you get out of bed, before you check your phone, before you start thinking about your problems and your to-do list, take a few moments to feel grateful. Thank the divine presence within for your breath, for your beating heart, for the gift of another day. Thank it for your body, for your mind, for your ability to experience this beautiful world. Thank it for the people in your life, for the roof over your head, for the food you'll eat today. And as you do this, feel the gratitude in your body. Let it fill you up, let it overflow. When you live in a state of gratitude, you're living in a state of love. And love is the highest vibration there is. Love dissolves fear, love heals wounds, love attracts more love. The divine presence is love. It is pure, unconditional, infinite love. And when you tune into that love within yourself, you become a channel for it to flow out into the world. This is your purpose. This is why you're here. You're here to let the divine presence express through you. You're here to be a vessel for love, for light, for creativity, for healing. You're here to remember who you truly are and to help others remember who they truly are. Every interaction you have, every word you speak, every action you take is an opportunity to let the divine shine through you. But you can't give what you don't have. You can't share love if you don't feel loved. You can't bring light to others if you're living in darkness. This is why connecting with the divine presence within is not selfish. It's essential. When you take time to go within, to meditate, to pray, to simply be still and know, you're not being self-indulgent. You're filling up your cup so that you can pour into others. The world needs you to wake up to your divine nature. The world needs you to stop playing small, to stop hiding your light, to stop pretending you're less than you are. The world needs your unique gifts, your unique perspective, your unique expression of the divine. There is something you came here to do, something only you can do in the way you do it. And you'll never figure out what that is by looking outside yourself. You'll only discover it by going within and asking the divine presence to reveal it to you. Your inner guidance is always available. It speaks to you through your intuition, through your excitement, through the things that light you up and make you feel alive. It speaks to you through synchronicities and coincidences that are too meaningful to be random. It speaks to you through your body, through feelings of expansion when you're moving in the right direction, and feelings of contraction when you're moving away from your truth. Learn to listen. Learn to trust. Learn to follow the breadcrumbs that the divine presence leaves for you. And be willing to take risks. Be willing to step into the unknown. Be willing to do things that your logical mind says don't make sense. The divine presence doesn't operate according to human logic. It operates according to a higher intelligence, a wisdom that sees the bigger picture. You might not understand why you're being called in a certain direction. You might not see how it's all going to work out, but you don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step, and then the next step will be revealed. And then the next. This is what it means to walk by faith. It means trusting the divine presence within, even when you can't see the path ahead. Fear will try to stop you. The ego will come up with 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't take that step. It will tell you you're not ready, you're not qualified, you're going to fail, you're going to look foolish. But these are just thoughts. They're not truth. And you don't have to believe them. You can acknowledge the fear and take the step anyway. You can feel the doubt and trust the divine presence anyway. You can face the uncertainty and move forward anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action in the presence of fear. And every time you do this, every time you choose faith over fear, you strengthen your connection to the divine presence within. You prove to yourself that you can trust it. You experience its support in tangible ways. And gradually your faith grows stronger than your fear. This is how you transform your life. Not by trying to fix everything that's wrong, not by forcing and controlling and manipulating circumstances, but by aligning yourself with the divine presence within and allowing it to guide you. When you do this, you move into a state of flow. Life becomes easier, things fall into place, the right people show up at the right time, resources appear when you need them, solutions present themselves in unexpected ways. This is what's available to you when you stop trying to do everything on your own and instead partner with the infinite intelligence within you. You're not meant to struggle through life alone. You're not meant to figure everything out with your limited human mind. You have access to unlimited wisdom, unlimited creativity, unlimited power, but you have to claim it. You have to own it. You have to step into the truth of who you are. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not at the mercy of external forces. You are a creator, a divine being with the power to shape your reality. Every moment, you are creating your experience through your thoughts, your beliefs, your expectations, your focus. When you understand this, you take back your power. You stop blaming others for your unhappiness. You stop waiting for conditions to change before you can feel good. You realize that your inner state determines your outer experience, not the other way around. This is radical responsibility. This is spiritual maturity. This is what it means to wake up. You recognize that you are the author of your life story. And if you don't, like the story you've been telling, you can write a new one. You can choose different thoughts. You can adopt new beliefs. You can shift your focus from problems to possibilities. And as you do this consistently, your external reality begins to reflect your internal shift. The divine presence within you is always ready to support you in creating the life you desire. It doesn't judge your desires. It doesn't say this one is spiritual and this one is not. It simply responds to your energy, to your vibration, to what you're putting out. If you want more joy, become joy. If you want more abundance, embody abundance. If you want more love, be love. This is the secret that's been hidden in plain sight throughout all spiritual teachings. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And what you are at your core is divine. You are love, peace, joy, abundance, creativity, wisdom, power. These qualities are not things you need to acquire or earn. They are your birthright. They are already within you. Your job is simply to remove the blocks that prevent you from experiencing them. And what are those blocks? They're all the false beliefs you've accumulated. They're all the conditioning you've absorbed from family, society, religion, media. They're all the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what's possible for you. These beliefs act like walls that keep you separate from the divine presence within. But here's the good news. You built those walls, and you can tear them down. It starts with awareness. You have to become conscious of your thoughts and beliefs. You have to catch yourself when you're thinking limiting thoughts. You have to question the stories you've been telling yourself. Are they really true? Or are they just old programs running on autopilot? When you bring awareness to your thinking, you create space. And in that space, you have the power to choose. You can choose to let go of thoughts that don't serve you. You can choose to release beliefs that hold you back. You can choose to stop identifying with your past. You can choose to stop worrying about the future. You can choose to be fully present in this moment, right here, right now. And when you're fully present, when you're not lost in mental time travel, you experience the divine presence because it only exists now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. This present moment is all you ever have. The past is gone. It exists only as a memory in your mind. The future hasn't happened yet. It exists only as a projection in your mind. The only reality is now. And in the now, you are always okay. In the now, there are no problems. There's just what is. And when you accept what is, when you stop resisting this moment, you find peace. You find the divine presence that has been here all along. So much of our suffering comes from our resistance to what is. We want things to be different than they are. We argue with reality. We say, this shouldn't be happening. They shouldn't have done that. I should be further along by now. But reality is what it is, regardless of our opinions about it. And when we fight against reality, we lose every time. Not because reality defeats us, but because we defeat ourselves with our own resistance. Acceptance is not the same as resignation. You're not saying you like what's happening or that you won't work to change it. You're simply acknowledging what is without adding layers of mental suffering on top of it. You're saying yes to this moment, exactly as it is. And paradoxically, when you stop resisting what is, you create space for things to shift and change. When you're not using all your energy fighting against reality, that energy becomes available for creative solutions and new possibilities. The divine presence within you accepts everything. It doesn't judge experiences as good or bad. It simply witnesses and loves. It sees the perfection in everything, even in what we call problems or challenges. From the perspective of the divine, everything is an opportunity for growth, for learning, for evolution. Nothing is wasted, nothing is wrong. Everything is part of the perfect unfolding of your journey. When you adopt this perspective, you stop being a victim. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this here to teach me? You look for the gift in every situation. You trust that even the difficult experiences are serving your highest good in some way. And this trust, this faith in the divine intelligence orchestrating your life brings tremendous peace. You don't have to understand everything. You don't have to have all the answers. You can relax into the knowing that you are being held, guided, and loved by the infinite presence within you. You can surrender the need to control every outcome and instead flow with life. You can stop pushing and forcing and striving and instead allow things to unfold naturally. This is not being passive or lazy. This is being in alignment. When you're aligned with the divine presence, action flows effortlessly from you. You know what to do and when to do it. You're not paralyzed by indecision or driven by anxiety. You're simply responding to life from a place of inner clarity and peace. And the actions you take from this place are far more effective than all the struggle and effort that comes from the ego. The ego believes that you have to work hard, sacrifice, and prove yourself to be worthy of success and happiness. But the divine presence knows that worthiness is your natural state. You don't have to earn it, you already have it. And when you live from this knowing, you approach life very differently. You stop trying to prove yourself to others. You stop comparing yourself to anyone else. You stop seeking validation and approval from outside sources. You become free. Free to be yourself, fully and authentically. Free to express your truth without fear of judgment. Free to follow your own path without needing anyone's permission. Free to create the life that resonates with your soul, not the life that others expect you to live. This freedom is your birthright. It's what happens when you reconnect with the divine presence within and let it lead the way. And as you step into this freedom, something magical happens. You inspire others to do the same. You give them permission, just by being yourself, to be themselves. You show them what's possible when you trust the divine presence within. You become a light that helps others find their way out of the darkness of fear and limitation and into the truth of who they really are. This is how we change the world. Not through force or manipulation or trying to convince others of what we believe, but by embodying the truth ourselves, by being living examples of what it means to live from the divine presence, by radiating love, peace, and joy in a world that desperately needs these qualities, by choosing faith over fear, trust over doubt, and connection over separation. You have this power within you right now. You don't need to wait until you're more spiritual or more evolved or more anything. You are ready right now. The divine presence is within you right now. It's been there your whole life, patiently waiting for you to recognize it, to claim it, to let it express through you. And the moment you do, everything begins to shift. Your relationships improve because you stop trying to get love from others and instead give love from the overflow of what you feel within. Your abundance increases because you stop believing in scarcity and start trusting in the infinite supply of the universe. Your health improves because you release stress and worry and allow your body's natural healing intelligence to function optimally. Your creativity flourishes because you stop blocking the flow with self-doubt and instead let inspiration pour through you. Every area of your life is touched by this awareness. There is no separation between your spiritual life and your everyday life. The divine presence infuses everything. Your work becomes an expression of the divine. Your relationships become opportunities to see the divine in others. Your challenges become invitations to trust the divine more fully. Your joys become celebrations of the divine expressing through you. You are here to be a unique expression of the divine presence. Not a copy of anyone else, not a watered-down version of yourself, but the fullest, most authentic, most radiant version of who you truly are. And the world needs this. The world needs your light. The world needs your gifts. The world needs your love. Not someday when you have it all figured out, but right now, exactly as you are, because you are enough. The divine presence within you is whole and complete. It lacks nothing. And when you identify with this presence, instead of with your ego, you experience that wholeness. You feel complete within yourself. You no longer need external validation or approval or success to feel good about yourself. You are enough. Simply because you exist, simply because you are an expression of the divine. This is the truth that sets you free. This is the truth that dissolves all fear. This is the truth that opens you to infinite possibilities. The presence of God is within you, not as a belief to adopt, but as a reality to experience. Not as a concept to understand, but as a truth to embody. Not as something that might be true, but as something that is true, always has been true, and always will be true. You are never alone. You are never separate. You are never without guidance or support or love. The infinite presence that creates universes lives in you, breathes through you, and expresses as you. And when you truly know this, when you live from this knowing every day, you become unstoppable. Not because you have no challenges or obstacles, but because you face them with the knowledge that the divine presence within you is greater than any challenge you could ever face. This is your inheritance. This is your truth. This is who you are beneath all the layers of conditioning and false identity. You are divine. You are eternal. You are infinite. And the sooner you claim this truth, the sooner you step into the magnificent life that's been waiting for you all along. The presence of God is within you. It always has been. It always will be. And now is the time to let it shine.